March 15th, 1928, 2:47 a.m. Eddie the Fixer. Malone stood in the back office of the Golden Peacock Casino, counting the night's take. $8,000, not bad for a Tuesday. What Eddie didn't know was that $3,000 of that money had just signed his death warrant. Because in Chicago, 1928, there were two kinds of businessmen: those who paid tribute to Al Capone. And if you like this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. And those who were about to learn why they should have. The Golden Peacock sat on South State Street, right in the heart of the Levee District. 3 floors of gambling, bootleg liquor, and jazz that drew everyone from factory workers to aldermen. Eddie had owned the place since 1925, built it from nothing into one of the most profitable independent operations in Chicago, independent being the key word. While every other casino owner in the city was paying Capone's outfit 25% of their take, Eddie Malone paid nothing. He had a system. And for 3 years, that system had worked perfectly. Here's what most people didn't understand about Capone's operation. The outfit didn't just take money. They provided services, protection from rival gangs, police payoffs, quality bootleg supply, and most importantly, rigged equipment. Capone's people controlled the slot machine manufacturers. They knew exactly how much every machine should be making. They knew the odds, the payout ratios, the expected weekly take. When you paid Capone, you got his slots. And his people knew exactly how much those slots should be generating. But Eddie Malone didn't use Capone's slots. He used machines from a guy named Samuel Rothstein, a Jewish engineer from New York who built custom equipment. Eddie's machines looked identical to standard slots, but they paid out 15% less than legitimate machines. The house edge wasn't 10%, it was 25%. Players didn't notice because they were drunk, excited, chasing the next pull. And that extra 15%? That was pure profit. $3,000 a week that should have been going back to players was going into Eddie's pocket. For 3 years, Eddie had been skimming not from Capone, but from the players. He paid his monthly $500 consultation fee to Frank Nitti, Capone's enforcer, just enough to keep suspicions low. He kept his casino clean, no violence, no complaints to the police. He played the game perfectly, or so he thought. What Eddie didn't know was that one of his regular customers, a man named Thomas Brennan, wasn't just a degenerate gambler. Tommy Brennan was a slot machine mechanic who'd worked for Mills Novelty Company, the biggest slot manufacturer in Chicago, a company that paid significant tribute to the outfit. And after losing $400 over 3 months at the Golden Peacock, Tommy had gotten suspicious. Tommy started tracking his losses, writing down every pull, every outcome, every payout. After 500 plays, he did the math. The machines were rigged beyond normal house advantage, way beyond. On March 10th, 1928, Tommy walked into the Four Deuces, Capone's headquarters at 2222 South Wabash Avenue. He asked to speak with someone about a business matter, a matter of significant lost revenue. They sent him to Frank Nitti. Tommy laid out his findings on Nitti's desk. Spreadsheets, calculations, expected payout ratios versus actual ratios. The numbers didn't lie. Eddie Malone was running illegal machines, keeping the profits, and making Capone's organization look weak. Every week Eddie kept that $3,000 wasn't just theft from players, it was theft from the outfit's reputation. If word got out that someone was operating independently, successfully, right under Capone's nose, every other casino owner in Chicago would start getting ideas. Nitti listened in silence. Then he picked up the phone and called Jack McGurn, Capone's most trusted enforcer. Machine Gun Jack, they called him, though he preferred to use a baseball bat, more personal. "We got a problem at the Golden Peacock," Nitti said. "Owner thinks he's smarter than the system. Bring the boys, all of them, and bring hammers." Frank Nitti didn't believe in half measures. When the outfit sent a message, that message needed to be read in every speakeasy, casino, and union hall from the Loop to Cicero. Eddie Malone's transgression wasn't just about money, it was about respect, about the order that kept Chicago's underworld functioning. And disorder needed to be corrected publicly, violently, and memorably. March 14th, 1928, 3 p.m. Nitti called a meeting at the Lexington Hotel, Capone's fortress, at 2135 South Michigan Avenue. Capone himself was in Florida, managing operations from his Palm Island estate, avoiding the Chicago winter and federal attention. But Nitti had full authority to handle territorial matters. 8 men sat around the table in Suite 430, Jack McGurn. And if you like this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. McGurn, the enforcer. Tony Joe Batters, Accardo, a rising muscle. Sam Mooney Giancana, barely 20, but already making a name. 5 others, soldiers whose names didn't matter but whose loyalty did. Eddie Malone's been running custom. Slots for 3 years, Nitti began, his voice calm and businesslike. Machines with modified payout ratios. He's been skimming approximately $150,000 annually that should be circulating back to players, which means those players have less money to spend at legitimate establishments, our establishments. He let that number sink in. $150,000 over 3 years was nearly $500,000. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is that Eddie thinks he's smarter than us. He thinks he found a loophole. He thinks if he pays his monthly fee and keeps his nose clean, we won't notice. That kind of thinking is contagious. Jack McGurn leaned forward. So we clip him? Nitti shook his head. Killing Eddie doesn't send the right message. Every casino owner in this city needs to understand something. You don't get to innovate. You don't get to find clever workarounds. You operate by our rules with our equipment, or you don't operate at all. He pulled out a photograph of the Golden Peacock's gaming floor. Eddie's got 47 slot machines, Mills, Jennings, Watling models, all modified by his New York supplier. Here's what we're going to do. Tomorrow night, we're going to walk into the Golden Peacock at exactly 11 p.m., prime hours and maximum customers. We're going to remove every single slot machine from that casino, and we're going to destroy them in the street, publicly, completely, and we're going to leave them there as a monument to stupidity. Tony Accardo smiled. Every machine? Every machine, Nitti confirmed. And here's the important part. We don't touch Eddie. We don't touch his staff. We don't touch a single customer. This isn't about violence against people. This is about destroying the tools of disrespect. We walk in, we explain the situation clearly so everyone understands why this is happening, and then we methodically dismantle his entire operation while he watches. What if Eddie fights back? Asked one of the soldiers. He won't, McGurn said confidently. Because if he does, then we're not just smashing machines anymore. Eddie's smart enough to know the difference between a lesson and an execution. We're giving him the lesson. Nitti pulled out a blueprint of the Golden Peacock. 3 floors. Slots are concentrated on the first and second floors. 23 machines first floor, 24 machines second floor. McGurn, you take first floor with Accardo and 3 men. I'll take second floor with Giancana and 2 men. We work simultaneously, top to bottom. Sledgehammers, crowbars, anything that makes noise and sends a message. What about the cops? Someone asked. Nitti smiled thinly. Captain Doherty at the State Street Station has been very cooperative. He'll make sure his boys are handling a disturbance on the other side of the district tomorrow night. Response time should be about 45 minutes, more than enough for our purposes. The meeting lasted 2 more hours. They discussed timing, equipment, transportation. Everything needed to be coordinated. The slot machines needed to be carried outside, not destroyed inside where the damage would be hidden. This was street theater. The audience was every businessman in Chicago who thought they could outsmart the outfit. March 15th, 1928, 10:30 p.m. 9 black Cadillacs pulled up 3 blocks from the Golden Peacock. 27 men in dark suits, armed not with Thompson submachine guns, but with sledgehammers, crowbars, and pipe wrenches. McGurn gave the final briefing in the lead car. Remember, we're professionals. No drinking, no screaming, no chaos. We walk in like we own the place because we do. We explain what's happening and why. We give Eddie and his customers exactly 1 minute to clear the gaming floor. Then, we start working. Methodical. Thorough. Every machine gets carried outside. Every machine gets destroyed where people can see it. This isn't vandalism. This is education. At 10:55 p.m., Eddie Malone was on the Golden Peacock's second floor, watching the roulette wheel spin. Tuesday nights were usually quiet. maybe 60 customers spread across 3 floors. Eddie felt good. The previous week's take had been $8,400, his best Tuesday ever. His custom machines were performing beautifully. Life was good. At 11 p.m. exactly, the front doors opened. 27 men in dark suits walked in. No hurry, no drama, just purposeful, organized movement. Frank Nitti walked straight to Eddie. "Mr. Malone, we need to talk about your slot machines." Eddie Malone's face went white. He'd been around long enough to recognize Frank Nitti, to understand what Nitti's presence in his casino meant. This wasn't a social call. This was Judgment Day. "Mr. Nitti," Eddie said, trying to keep his voice steady, "I don't understand. I've been paying my monthly fees. I run a clean operation. No trouble, no complaints." Nitti's expression didn't change. "Your fees cover basic operating permission, Eddie. They don't cover fraud. You've been running modified slot machines with illegal payout ratios for 3 years. Machines not supplied by our approved manufacturers. Machines that skim an additional 15% beyond standard house advantage. Did you think we wouldn't notice?" Eddie's mind raced. How did they know? Who talked? Samuel Rothstein? Tommy Brennan? It didn't matter now. "Mr. Nitti, I can explain. I can make this right. Whatever the outfit wants, whatever percentage, I'll pay it. Retroactive. I'll write a check tonight. And if you like this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell." Eddie shook his head slowly. "This isn't about money, Eddie. This is about respect. You tried to be clever. You tried to game the system. That kind of independence is bad for business, our business. So we're going to correct the situation in a way that ensures nobody else gets similar ideas." He turned to his men. "Gentlemen, you have your assignments. Let's begin." Jack McGurn stepped forward and addressed the entire casino floor. His voice carried like a preacher's, clear and authoritative. "Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the interruption to your evening. My name is Jack McGurn. I represent the Capone organization. We have no quarrel with any of you. You are welcome to stay, continue drinking, enjoy the jazz. But I need everyone to step away from the slot machines. Do not touch them. Do not stand near them. Give my associates room to work. This will take approximately 30 minutes, after which normal operations will resume. Anyone who interferes will be dealt with harshly. Anyone who cooperates will not be harmed. Do we have an understanding?" The casino floor was silent. 60 people nodded, some backing away from the slots immediately, others frozen in confusion. One, drunk at a machine on the first floor, didn't move fast enough. Tony Accardo walked over, gently took the man's arm, and guided him to the bar. "Have a drink on us, friend. Just stay over here for a bit." Then the work began. Systematic, professional, almost beautiful in its precision. 2 men per slot machine. One disconnected it from its floor mount while the other prepared a dolly. The machines were heavy, 150 pounds of cast iron, gears, and coin mechanisms. They had to be carried carefully down the front steps to the street. No rushing, no dropping them. The destruction would happen outside in full view. The first machine hit the sidewalk at 11:07 p.m., a Mills high top, cherry design, one of Eddie's most profitable machines. McGurn stepped forward with a 12-pound sledgehammer. He raised it high and brought it down on the glass face. The sound of shattering glass echoed down State Street, then the second blow, crushing the internal mechanism, then the third, fourth, fifth. By the 10th blow, the machine was unrecognizable, a twisted pile of metal and broken dreams. People started gathering, casino workers from neighboring establishments, late-night pedestrians. A couple of cops who watched from across the street, making no move to intervene. Everyone understood what they were witnessing. Inside the Golden Peacock, the work continued. Machine after machine disconnected, carried out, staged on the sidewalk. Eddie watched from the second-floor window, his face a mask of devastation. 3 years of careful planning, of calculated risk, destroyed in minutes. Frank Nitti stood beside him. "You're a smart man, Eddie. That's why you're still breathing. A stupid man would have fought back. A stupid man would have pulled a gun. But you're smart enough to understand that this is mercy. We're destroying machines, not people. Learn from this." By 11:25 p.m., all 47 slot machines lined South State Street in front of the Golden Peacock. They looked like a mechanical graveyard, a monument to hubris. 27 men with sledgehammers formed a line. McGurn gave the signal. The destruction began in earnest, not frantic, not angry, methodical, businesslike. Each man destroyed his assigned machines completely, glass shattered, metal bent. Gears scattered across the pavement, internal mechanisms spilled out like mechanical entrails. The sound carried for blocks, crash, crunch, shatter, a rhythm of retribution. People came from everywhere now, factory workers heading home, prostitutes on their corners, newspaper boys, even a few aldermen who'd been dining nearby. Everyone stopped to watch. Everyone understood the message. At 11:40 p.m., Frank Nitti walked back into the Golden Peacock. Eddie was sitting at the bar staring at nothing. "It's done," Nitti said. 47 machines, total loss. Current street value approximately $35,000. Consider it tuition for the education you just received. He placed a business card on the bar. "Tomorrow, you call this number. That's our approved slot machine supplier. You'll purchase new machines at standard rates. You'll install them with standard payout ratios. You'll operate by our rules. And Eddie, your monthly fee just went up to $2,000. Think of it as insurance against future." Creativity. "Do we have an understanding?" Eddie nodded, unable to speak. "Good man," Nitti said. "Oh, and Eddie, you're still welcome to operate in this city. We're not running you out. We're correcting you. There's a difference. Use this experience to become a better businessman, a more compliant businessman." Nitti walked out. His men followed. 27 men in dark suits climbing into 9 black Cadillacs, disappearing into the Chicago night as efficiently as they'd arrived. March 16, 1928, 7 a.m. The morning sun rose over South State Street to illuminate a scene that would define Chicago's underworld hierarchy for the next decade. 47 destroyed slot machines. And if you like this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Machines still lined the sidewalk in front of the Golden Peacock, twisted metal sculptures of enforcement. Eddie Malone hadn't moved them. He couldn't. Moving them would be hiding the evidence, and the last thing Eddie wanted was to give the outfit any reason to return. By 8 a.m., newspaper photographers were on scene. The Chicago Tribune ran the story on page 3. Gambling equipment destroyed in Levy District dispute. The article was carefully worded, mentioning unknown vandals and business disagreement, but everyone who read it knew exactly what had happened and who had done it. Captain William Doherty of the State Street Police Station filed a report stating that officers responded to a disturbance call at 11:47 p.m., approximately 12 minutes after the outfit's men had left. By the time we arrived, the perpetrators had fled. We found the destroyed property, but no witnesses willing to provide descriptions. Eddie Malone, when questioned, told police he had no idea who was responsible. I stepped away from the floor for a few minutes. When I came back, this is what I found. The case was marked unsolved and filed away within 48 hours. But the real impact wasn't in the newspapers or police reports. It was in the message that rippled through Chicago's criminal economy like a shockwave. Frank Nitti had designed the Golden Peacock incident as a teaching moment, and the lesson was absorbed instantly. Within a week, 3 other independent casino owners contacted the outfit's approved slot machine supplier. They wanted to replace their equipment immediately, proactively, before anyone started asking questions about their payout ratios. Within a month, Capone's organization had consolidated control of every significant slot machine operation in Chicago. The standardization was complete. Everyone used the same suppliers, the same equipment, the same payout ratios, and everyone paid the same percentage to the outfit. The genius of Nitti's approach became clear in the months that followed. If they'd killed Eddie Malone, he would have become a martyr. Other casino owners might have banded together out of fear, might have gone to the authorities, might have hired their own muscle. But by destroying his equipment while leaving him alive, Nitti had created something more powerful than fear. He'd created inevitability. Eddie became a walking cautionary tale. He continued operating the Golden Peacock, now with outfit-approved equipment, now paying his increased monthly fees without complaint. When other casino owners saw Eddie, still alive, still working, but completely neutered, they understood their options: compliance or destruction. There was no third path. Tommy Brennan, the slot mechanic who'd first reported Eddie's modified machines, received a $1,000 cash payment and a job offer. Nitti put him to work inspecting slot machines throughout Chicago, spot-checking for compliance. Tommy became the outfit's quality control specialist, making sure nobody else tried Eddie's trick. It was brilliant economics. The same man who'd identified the problem now prevented its recurrence. And every casino owner knew that Tommy was out there, randomly checking machines, reporting directly to Nitti. The destroyed machines stayed on State Street for 3 days, before city sanitation finally hauled them away. But photographs of that mechanical graveyard circulated for years. Bar owners kept copies behind their counters as reminders. The image became iconic in Chicago's underworld, a visual representation of what happened when you tried to outsmart the outfit. Al Capone, still in Florida, received regular updates on the situation. According to later testimony from Frank Nitti, Capone's response was simple. Good. Now everyone knows the rules. Eddie Malone operated the Golden Peacock until 1932. He never missed a payment. He never modified another machine. He never tried to innovate again. In 1932, he sold the casino to a buyer approved by the outfit and moved to California. He bought a small hotel in San Diego and lived quietly until his death in 1957. In the decades after, he gave exactly one interview about the March 1928 incident. It was to a University of Chicago criminology student researching Prohibition-era Chicago. Eddie said this, "I thought I was being smart. I thought I'd found a loophole, a way to make a little extra without directly stealing from Capone. But I learned something that night. In Chicago, there are no loopholes. There's only the system. And the system doesn't care how clever you are. It only cares whether you follow the rules. Those 47 machines cost me $35,000 in equipment. But they saved my life. Because if I'd kept going, if I'd fought back, if I'd refused to learn the lesson, they would have destroyed more than machines." The Golden Peacock incident became a case study, and if you like this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. In organizational control. Business schools would later analyze it as an example of non-lethal enforcement maintaining market discipline. The outfit had proven something crucial. You didn't need to kill everyone who stepped out of line. You just needed to make the consequences of independence more expensive than the benefits of compliance. By 1930, Capone's organization controlled an estimated 10,000 slot machines across Chicago, generating approximately $3 million annually in revenue. That standardization, that absolute control, was built on lessons like the Golden Peacock. The machines in that street weren't just destroyed equipment, they were the physical manifestation of power, of order, of the rules that governed Chicago's underworld. And everyone who saw them, everyone who heard the story, understood exactly what they meant. In Capone's Chicago, you played by the outfit's rules, or you didn't play at all.